Hello dear tea friends from around the world. Welcome to a new tea class. I'm Stéphane Herler, the founder of the Tea Masters blog and the tea-masters.com tea boutique. We are doing our monthly class about Louis charging based on Les Belles Lettres' new edition of Louis' book, and I've translated this into English. So we'll use this text based on the French translation, and while I'm making this lesson, I'm going to brew some Bilochun from Sanxia, harvested on November 29th, so just less than 2 weeks ago. And I'm going to use Gaiwan in a very simple style, the easiest way to actually brew a tea. It's a Gaiwan. I broke the lid. And I'm going to show you that even if you happen to break your lid, you can still use your Gaiwan. So first I'm emptying, I've preheated it. I'm emptying my hot water, putting some green tea leaves, and then boiling water on top. And that's it. It's sometimes called grandpa style. Or tea boiled in a bowl without the lid means Gaiwan. The word Gaiwan means lidded bowl. So without the lid, it's simply now a bowl or a cup, a large cup, and I'm going to drink this tea as it cools down. And if it's too strong, I can add hot water. This is really the easiest way to make tea, and it's a good fit because today we are going to talk about a green tea made in the Tang Dynasty, and we'll see how it was made very specifically in the Tang Dynasty, thanks to Louis' chapter 3, which is dedicated on how to make tea. Before I start, let me remind you that until December 22nd, there are gifts that you can get. Oded's CD, Here Be Dragons, or these tea ceremony napkins, fabrics that you can see here. I have one that is with Christmas colors, but they're all different kinds of colors that I'm going to give away for every order. So you get a chance to get a surprise CD, a surprise chabu, or a surprise teacup if you place an order until December 22nd. And if there are really many orders, then everybody will get at least one additional sample. If it's not one of these gifts, then it will be an additional sample. So until December 22nd, I'm playing Santa Claus, and I'm adding surprises, gifts for all the orders that are coming. So let's start now our chapter 3 from Louis charging. I should mention that this chapter is a bit shorter than the chapter 2. Chapter 2 and chapter 3 are very much related, because in chapter 2, what we saw 1 month ago, are all the accessories that farmers used in the Tang Dynasty to make tea. So today we see the making of tea, but actually it's very short, because when Louis described each accessory in the previous chapter, actually he already told the reader how to use these accessories. So this is going to be quite brief, you will see. So I start with the reading, and after each paragraph I'm going to pause and give you my comment, my thoughts about it. So we start with the title, Tea Preparation. So actually I don't like this title so much. For me it's much more the tea making. Tea preparation, for us it's much more the tea brewing, what I'm doing here, but the tea making, the manufacture of tea is a process that happens just after the leaves are picked. So making of would have been a better translation. Okay, let's start. Tea leaves are harvested between the 2nd, 3rd and 4th lunar months. The tea shoots that grow on friable rock loams can measure up to 4 to 5 inches. They resemble vetch or eagle ferns that begin to emerge from the ground. They are picked in the morning dew. The buds that develop on bushy soils are grouped in 3, 4s or 5s. The one that points is selected for picking. Harvesting is not done on a rainy or cloudy day, but only on sunny days. Then the tea is picked, steamed, pounded, dried, skewered and packaged. This way the tea will be kept dry. Okay, you see he's very short on the making. Actually, he spends time on telling us on what kind of soil the tea is best grown, so on friable rock soil, and that it's harvested only in spring. So since with the lunar months and our calendar there's roughly 1 month difference, so it means March, April, May, these are the times when tea used to be picked during the Tang Dynasty, so only in spring. So this is quite interesting that now in Taiwan it's possible also to pick green tea in the winter, in end of November, and the quality of this tea is very similar to spring tea, just because there is less sunshine in late November than in late March. The yield, the quantity that are harvested in at that time of the year in winter is much lower, and it gets less sunshine, but it's just as cold. So the finesse is there, and I would say it's more sweet and it's more in the aftertaste than in the aromas. But of course, the other difference was during the Tang Dynasty, the Chinese territory did not extend up to Taiwan, so the higher in the north, the colder the weather, and it was probably less suitable in winter to produce tea. Now, thanks to our lower latitude in Taiwan, it's really possible to make tea, green tea, even in November. And what did not change is that, again, it's best to make tea on a sunny day. For Louis, it was really a no-go on rainy, on a cloudy day. But nowadays, thanks to air condition inside the manufacturer or fans, farmers have the possibility to reduce the moisture after the tea has been harvested. So sometimes, even though it's not ideal, tea will still be harvested on days when it's subpar, when it can be a bit raining today, because farmers have more mechanical means to reduce the moisture inside the farm, something they did not have during the Tang Dynasty. So of course, the best teas are still harvested during sunny days, but nowadays, thanks to mechanization, it's even possible to pick them in rainy or cloudy days, especially if you want to make more, as much as tea as possible. We continue. Tea can present 1,000 aspects. In general, some teas have the appearance of dry and tanned leather of barbarian boots. Others evoke a zebu's sagging chest, clouds spiraling out of a mountain, a water mirror caressed by a light breeze, or potter's clay sifted and purified with water. So here what is interesting is the very poetic ways and creative ways that Louis is using to picture the very different, the aspect of various kinds of green teas. Already in Tang Dynasty there were lots of different cultivars in different regions, so the aspect of the leaves would be very different. Now, these barbarian boots, what would have been their aspect? Now, the translator thinks that these barbarian boots probably were going up in the beginning, at the front. So they were not flat, but going up. So that's a little bit something normal with leather. So there are some leaves that will point up, that are not completely flat. So for him, this is really one thing to look at. Also, and he continues later on. Others still resemble newly worked land with furrows formed by heavy rain. These are all refined teas with excellent flavor. So all these shapes so far that he has presented are shapes that indicate a high quality and excellent flavors. Let's continue. Some teas have the appearance of bamboo shoot envelopes. Their stems are hard, difficult to steam, they resist pounding, and the appearance of the leaves evokes a sieve. Others resemble frosted lotuses, whose stems and leaves wilt and wither. They look dry and stunted. These are old, weak teas. So, after showing us what kind of shape is good, now he shows us which shapes indicate a lower quality. There are 7 operations from picking to packaging, and 8 degrees of quality, from tea that looks like barbarian boots to that resembling frosted lotuses. Some consider a bright, black, and well-regulated tea to be of the best quality. These are poor connoisseurs. Better judges are those who consider a tea with yellowish folds and a bumpy surface to be of very good quality. As for those who can distinguish the qualities or defects of a tea, they are great connoisseurs. Why? When the essence of the tea has been released, it is bright, whereas if it remains inside, it has a wrinkled appearance. A tea made after one night has turned black. Made on the same day, it is yellow. When it is compressed during steaming, it has a flat and regular surface, whereas if it is well spread out, it has roughness. Tea behaves like any other plant leaf. To evaluate the quality of tea, there are all formulas. Okay, here the chapter finishes. So we see that actually he did not spend much time to talk about how to process the leaves. This is actually much more assumed from the previous chapter. But he spends a lot of time on what interests us much more is to look at the quality of the leaves and recognize which kind of leaves are of high quality and which are of poor quality. Let me take a sip. Very sweet and refreshing and refined. So what he emphasizes is that the leaves can be of different kind of shapes, but that a roughness, an uneven texture of the leaf actually is not a bad thing. That actually, when it looks too good to be true, like too even, they are all the same. Actually, these kind of leaves don't seem to have much essence in them and are a bit lifeless. But teas that are more powerful and have lots of essence in them, they will have an uneven skin, because they contain so much that wants to be released. So again, so this is interesting. Already at his time, appearances could be deceiving, and from his experience, a deceiving appearance actually could indicate a very high quality of leaf. So one leaf that looks like a barbarian boot going up, so it's not straight. Actually, it is a good thing. So this is interesting for us to see that Lu Yu has really the same thoughts that we could have. His in this chapter, really, all his writing is about quality. Already in the beginning, he mentions again when is the best time to harvest in the spring on friable rocks, soil, not on rainy or cloudy days, because he wants really the best tea possible being made. And then he tells us how to recognize which tea, once it's done, is better, and that when a tea looks too nice, too even, then actually it's not such a good indicator, because another interpretation is that teas that are grown more freely, a bit more wildly, they are uneven in appearance because they grow up in a more organic, wild way than those that follow really the plan of a farmer. So a short but very interesting chapter. I hope that you found this interesting. Give me a thumbs up if it's the case. Next week we are going to talk about Tie Guanyin Oolong. We have a sampler that is part of also our fall and winter classes. So every month we are making a study on these 4 Tie Guanyins that have 4 different kinds of roast. And next week we are going to focus much more on the higher roasts. 1 month ago it was on the low roasts, and next week it will be on the high roasts, because these are teas that will be very suitable for the Christmas time. So for Christmas dinner, for tea pairing also. So we will do in one lesson catch 2 birds with 1 stone. We'll talk about this Tie Guanyin, and I will also give you some advice on tea pairing for these high roasted Tie Guanyin oolongs. Thank you very much for your interest and presence today, and I'll see you next week. Bye bye.